Hey, it's Adam with Indulj. I wanted to run you through the front end and the back end of the Indulj application so you can see how we make it easier to run a mug club or membership program at your brewery. As you can see here, we've got our front end application on the right side. That's what your customers will use to interact with your brewery and your membership program. And then on the left side, we have the merchant portal, which is what you're going to use to create all of the engagement and promos that exist in the app for your customers. So I like to start with the front end, kind of go through what your customers experience first, and then get into how you create all that in the back end. So if you check it out here on the right side of my screen, you can see the customer would come up to the bar, they'd buy their beer, and the bartender would say, hey, you're a regular, why don't you check out our mug club on this app right here? And they can scan a QR code at the bar, they sign up, they put in their location, and they're able to see, for instance, the Indulj Brewery. And look at that, all these promos. Now, if I go to a brewery where I'm not a member, I can see there's some promos available to me here. That means these promos are available to everyone. And if I go to club here, I can check out the Inner Circle Club, a description of it, what you get as a member, the cost, and I can use Google or Apple Pay. I can also use membership code. If you have existing members, you can just have auto-generated membership codes so they don't have to pay twice. And then once you join a club, you'll see you get this icon here, this shield emblem. That means I'm a member of the Indulj Breweries Club. So if I tap on there, that's why I see so many more promos here. And these promos are the main form of engagement on Indulj. So promos really can be anything you want your customers to have. Think about an email that moves down the inbox immediately after sending it. This is more like a Starbucks app where every time they come to your brewery, they know they can open this app to unlock more value. If I check out this one, this is a redeemable promo. So I can click redeem in the tap room. And now I've redeemed it. And so now it tells me when I've redeemed it, at what time, and that makes it easier on your staff so they don't have to be the jerk that tells people, you already actually used this one. The other type of promo is a link out. So if you go here, you can see any type of functionality that you want, resources, videos, anything like that that you want for your customers that may not be a redemption in the tap room, you can link out as well. That way it stays in this for them as long as you want it to. And again, it's not moving down that inbox as soon as you send out that monthly newsletter or whatever it may be. So I can do link outs as well as promos. Now that I'm a member of this club, I click on members only club. So now you can see that I'm a member of the members only club. And if I hit the club, it shows me my member ID. And the cool thing about this is now, for one, if you're doing member IDs currently, you don't have to print out member IDs anymore. People are making their own IDs for themselves. And then also all of this turns red. This text turns red. There becomes a red border outline. And there becomes a renew button right here when I run out. So your staff doesn't have to be the jerk again, telling people, you're expired, because it shows up very clearly to them on their own phone that they are expired, and it gives them the option to pay for a renewal right there, which is really nice for your staff to not have to handle that. There's other things like I can see my member number, when I joined, when I expire. And when I go back and check out all those promos now, there's those two types of promos, like I said, where there's a link out or there's a tap room redemption. There's another few things that are quality of life things. You can leave private feedback, but doing just you and the customer. That way it's not like a yelling match when somebody has a bad time, but instead constructive criticism. You can also put preferences in, so I can choose what I like as a customer, and then I can choose to share that with your brewery. Moving on, let's get into how you create all of this engagement on the back end. So what we have here is the merchant portal. You can see all the engagement we've had at a high level. You can check out how the revenue is doing. You can also see those preferences that people have been sharing with you. So you can see here, we've been brewing a lot of light styles. Maybe a lot of our members like classic beer styles. Maybe we should brew some more classic beer styles. Same thing with food, venues, spirits, mead, coffee, anything you want to get, anything you want to get preferences on that are anything that our brewery customers have shown they are interested in getting data on, we've added here. If we move on, this is the member section where you can check out your clubs. You can add clubs here, create new clubs, set club limits. So if you wanted to have one with no limit, that's a mug club that doesn't require much work for you. And then you also have one that's more of a private exclusive club with a 30-person limit to say, something like that, where you can charge more for it, really put more work into it, and know you're not going to be overselling the event and under delivering. You can add the benefits right here, create promos with those benefits, or just have them as kind of standard passive benefits as part of just showing your ID. You can set club description, what location it's good for. You can also set the payment cadence. So you can have a yearly mug club for all your locals. Then you can have a monthly that's for anyone who doesn't live locally, who may not want to join for a full year. They can drop in and out as needed. If we go back here, you can also see that this is our member list here. And so this is a big deal for people running spreadsheets to manage their clubs, because that's just an email and a name on a list. Once you break about 50 to 100 members, it gets really hard to keep track of who everyone actually is. But now that everyone has a picture, I can see very clearly what member is who, and I can say, oh yeah, I meant to send them an email. I can go in and check out each member's preferences. I can see when they joined. I can see any notes we've made for ourselves on their profile. So all of these things allow you to really give a deeper look into your customers that isn't able to be gotten through, point of sale or e-commerce data. I can also go in and edit this, so I can change member numbers, add dates, anything like that. You have the ability to change on the back end. And then if we go here, you see there's this big export button. So we want this data to be useful and able to be taken out of our system and put into other systems like email marketing platforms. You can also break it down by who's recent. So if they've joined in the last 30 days, they'll show up here. You can break it down by who's expiring in the next 30 days or less. Those are showing up here. And then you can see who's expired as well, and those will show up here. In addition to this, you can add membership codes. So let's say you have a new apartment complex opening up. You can make a code that gets sent out to everyone for that monthly membership you have that gives them a free month to get them trying it, and then they'll have to renew after that first month. You can also check out your promos here. So this gives you a breakdown of how your promos are doing. And then you can see here, let's say you wanted to do a weekly beer as an in-tap room redemption for your customers through the app. So you just create the first one, then you go in, you clone it out, and then you edit each one to schedule to turn on and off when you want it to turn it off. And it's as simple as that. And that way you're not getting people using last week's promo for this week's beer. You can target these promos to, like I said, to everyone. You can target just your members. You can target people who are expiring in the next 30 days or less, which is really helpful if you wanted to make a renewal push for year-round renewals. So that way you're not having to worry about getting it going, but it just shows up when someone's 30 days or less from expiring. And you can also target based on those preferences that have been shared with you. So, you can target based on beer preferences, food preferences. So you're not targeting the IPA loving vegan with the stout pig picking. And if we go back, you can see you can make these promos active or inactive. So you can schedule out your whole year in the first quarter and just have them turn off and on as need be through the scheduling down here. You can also set redemption limits. So if it's a bottle release you're doing, you only have 50 bottles, set a redemption limit so you don't oversell it. And again, none of your staff has to be the jerk to tell people that they bought something that you don't actually have. You can set an external link out as well. So if you wanted to link out to something like an Eventbrite page or a private e-commerce link, you can do that so that it lives there as a resource until you decide to take it down for your members. And if we go to location, you can choose what location. So if you have multiple locations and you want multiple clubs, you can have location specific clubs, or you can have one universal club that's good at all locations. And then you can choose obviously when to schedule these for, so they turn off and on as you see fit. If we go back here, you can also get this data exported. So you can see what promos are doing the best, which members are performing the best. All of this to say, we want to make it easy to get the data that you want as a business owner out of our system so that you can actually do something with it. That is Indulj at a nutshell. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'd love to talk. Thanks.